Hello, I'm Isabel.
And I'm Jonathan.
And you're watching NASA Lately. On today's episode, we will be featuring 2 exclusive interviews regarding the Suez Canal, only on E!
Hello and welcome. Please give a warm welcome to our first interviewee, Ferdinand de Lesseps, an important and significant contributor to the Suez Canal. So Ferdinand, tell us about yourself.
Thank you for having me. Growing up, I always had an itch for innovation and productivity. When talk of the Suez Canal came about, I almost jumped at the opportunity. However, as a seemingly immature and clueless 20-year-old, many others strove to shut me down with false accusations and complications. With my heart still set on the project, I eventually was successful with my efforts come my 50s. And voila! And the Suez Canal was built.
The world observed great scorn and criticism toward you throughout construction. What was that like?
Even though I may not have had the full qualifications of an engineer and lack of experience, I still embodied everything about that time. I had worldly experience with the training of a diplomatist, political knowledge, and commercial awareness. Despite the hatred I received, I held my head high for the sake of this project with which I invested myself in greatly.
Just fascinating. Now to Isabel, with an interview of none other than Egyptian President Jamal Nasser.
Thanks, Jonathan. What an exemplary man. Speaking of notable figures, please welcome President Jamal Nasser of Egypt. Although not often mentioned, we were told you basically grew up with a British opposition. Can you tell us about that? How did that influence your rule?
My family's views and perspectives on issues almost directly influenced me. From a young age, I participated in rally demonstrations against British rule. I think that once I ran for president, people began paying attention to these small details, noting my devotion to our country.
And quite a devotion it was. However, your smooth rule didn't last quite as long as you had expected. Why is that?
As a ruler, you think about what's best for your country, and not so much how your decisions will affect others. A few months or so into my rule, I made a decision for an arms agreement with the USSR, or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. This of course engaged the United States and Britain, who were constant instigators at the time. Several limits were put on Egypt's arms issues, and involving the US and British weapons, putting me in a pickle. The only option I felt I had at the time was to nationalize the canal, which was the start of another outrage.
Oh my, I can't imagine how you were feeling at the time. Above all, you made decisions for the sake of your own country, which is all you can ask for. Thank you for your time, Gamal. Can we take a selfie?
My pleasure.
Well, that's all for our show tonight.
Send in your own presidential snaps with the hashtag "We will never be royals." Have a great night, everybody.
It's a running